Hello, hello, ladies. How are you today, and where are you dialing from? Shaima?
Good, I would say good afternoon from Dubai. And yeah, I'm very
From
happy to be
Dubai.
here.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And Sherene, where are you dialing from?
Hi, Kate. Hi, Shaima. I'm dialing in from Hong Kong, and it's a pleasure to be with you on this show.
Oh, Hong Kong. I'm surprised. How did you end up there? Is it for work or you live in there permanently?
So I'm living here in Hong Kong with my husband. We came to Hong Kong with my husband's work, but I also found work here, which is where I'm going to be speaking about as my with my low role at Hanson Robotics.
Oh, I didn't notice you were from Hong Kong. That's exciting. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for taking the time today to join my hot seat session. The purpose of this session is to, help companies and entrepreneurs all over the globe to address their blind spots and gain competitive edge with the help of our lovely mentors, who are you. And before getting deeper into the topic, what it's like being a woman in STEM career, I'd like to get to know you better. So, Shaima, maybe you can tell me about, your life and your journey.
Thank you, Kate. So, of course, my name is Shaima Al-Qassab. I am originally from the UAE, specifically from Dubai. Now, I have a background in actually chemical engineering, and I will recently get my master's in innovation and entrepreneurship. Soon. And then, now, a little bit about what I do in my free time also is that I really enjoy, let's say, extreme sports. Anything that's related to mountaineering. I recently climbed Kilimanjaro. And I do, when I'm not in this extreme condition, I'm doing rock climbing. I go to a gym that has all the walls with different rocks, and I try to use different strategies to climb to the highest wall. Now, yeah, I think and I forgot to also introduce myself. I work for Siemens Energy as a technologist in the innovation center at Abu Dhabi. Thank you.
Thank you. I will surely ask more about it. But before this, Shireen, I'd like to get to know you also.
Thank you, Kate. So I would just say, I just mentioned I've dialed in from Hong Kong, but I'm a Indian by passport, but then have traveled around the world, have lived in almost 12 cities. So I've become a global citizen and I enjoy being in different parts of the world. I started, you know, at the when I was in grade 9, I realized I have had this passion for tech, especially computer science. And in those days, computer science was still like not accessible to everybody. In my class, out of 58 students, only 20 of us had access to it. So it was still a niche and a unique course. Having found my interest, I pursued my degree, bachelor's, master's in computer science. Started my career as with Siemens in the communication telecom sector, and enjoyed working it there. I took an intentional break to have enjoy my kids. It was at a time when women were actually not welcome back into the field if you took a break. Knowing that I still did take a break, uh, I think the industry realized that they did need women. So about 8, 9 years later, they were actually calling women back. Unfortunately for me, I just decided to move. It just happened at the time when I decided to move out of India, and we were, starting on this adventure. So yes, I couldn't start my career right then. I also had a son who passed away about 9 months later. So it kind of reset my life because I had to realize what I wanted. And then, I decided it was also with friends and others around who encouraged me, told me of opportunities, and I decided to plunge back into this tech field. And I started my journey. And after a 15-year break, I was still able to find my space there. I'm navigating and still looking at opportunities. So that's my story. And right now, I'm a consultant at Hanson Robotics. So enjoyed working in the robotics AI space, which is the in thing right now.
Thank you for sharing your journey. And when you started talking about Hanson Robotics, I do feel like you work a lot in teams and generally, in male dominated, industry. And I'm sure at your workplace, there are way more males than females. And I wanted to ask about your experience and what do you think helped you wake your way through? I'm meaning that a way to show that you're no worse than man and you can be the best version of yourself even in such workspace.
Yeah, so fortunately, I would say Hanson Robotics is a place where they're intentional about having 50% women. So I do have a lot of women colleagues, but it's also across, it's a tech plus a art company. So, there are women who are also from the arts field, but we do have hardware engineers. The face of Sophia is actually done by women, and women are actually encouraged to come in here. So yes, in Hanson Robotics, yes, we have a number of women, but when I do go to other companies for collaboration, usually I'm the only woman in the room. So I went back in India, and out of 15, I was the only women with all the men there. And I think it depends on where you're working. Southeast Asia, there's a lot more women in the tech space. But as you go the rest of the world, I still feel that there are not many women in this field. But how do you make yourself? I think when you deliver, people just take notice of you. You do not bring in drama into office. Women are known to bring drama. So stay away from drama, deliver, and people definitely look to you because everywhere after where I've worked, there comes a point when they realize that when you work with Sherene, there's no nonsense happening. And so they actually ask for you to say, and Sherene of the team. I think it's all about when, as women, if we really take our life, serious, our job seriously and say we're not competing with men, but we're complementing them. That brings us an attitude where we can show ourselves and show what we are good at. And when we show ourselves in what we are good at, we are recognized for it.
This is a really nice point. Thank you so much. And Shaima, I do feel the same way about you in Siemens Energy, but you can tell me more about it. And I know that you're probably, really involved in scouting and analyzing different technology trends for energy sector. I'd like to ask you, what were some instances when you had to exemplify, leadership and collaboration skills? And was it harder for you as a woman than if you were a man in the same company?
So actually, the trend scouting was one part of a project that I was given by my manager, right? If we're talking about that specifically, when I was assigned, it felt like I was, swimming in the ocean because he came in and he had the idea, and I had to, put a direction and a vision for what this project should look like when it ends, right? I remember I asked him to set regular meetings, to update him on what the progress of the project. So here it was clear for me that I have to have goals and objectives, right? And when it came to that, it's for me, it's here where I actually practice effective leadership. And the other thing I also realized that you should have open communication, right? With all the stakeholders that were involved in the project. Now, when it came to how when it came to my male colleagues, I noticed that sometimes, as a woman, I didn't get, as Sherene also mentioned, she was the only female in the room. It was exactly the same thing for me. I did see that I was the only female in the room, and it was sometimes difficult to raise my voice, or to say I have this opinion. But I think it's changing now, hopefully, and it could change for the next generation. So yeah, I think when it comes to leadership, effective communication for me is very important.
Thank you. I do agree with this. And now that you shared your journeys, I'd like to put, focus on women who are just embarking on this journey and they feel intimidated sometimes, just to start. And I want to ask you, what would you say are some key attributes and maybe key skills that are really important to showcase effective leadership in STEM careers? And what are some, practices or strategies that you have found most effective when you try to advocate, for gender equality or just for yourself, when you try to prove yourself in the workspace? Sherene, you can start. Sorry, I muted
Thank
myself for a
you.
second.
Thank you, Keith. Yeah, okay. So I think being in a leadership position as a woman, so when I'm trying to get people on my team and being in a company which is intentionally looking at including women, unfortunately, some of the challenges that I faced were women who really brought drama into, the workspace. And being another woman, it actually is sad. So that's my message to my co-women. There are so many of us who have actually, have paid the cost and have fought for us women to be in the workspace. Let's make it a better place where we are, you know, embraced rather than being, regated. So let's each of us take the responsibility to make sure that we bring the best version of women to a workspace. Like I can give you an example. There was this, girl who wanted to do internship with Hanson Robotics for 1 year. I was very excited because that would really help us in our project. And being a girl, they were really, be having a motto where you want to include women. They really went out to make sure that she felt included. But then beyond a point, she started demanding, I want more money, I want this, I want these perks. And I'm like, you're not, if those were your concerns, you should have raised it right at the beginning before signing the contract. Unfortunately, she was supposed to come to Hong Kong and, it became too much that we decided not to bring her aboard. So the women themselves are the reason why they're not able to be empowered. So that's the sad reality. So yes, we have some women who are trying to find a space there, and there are others who are actually trying to pull us back. And that's where I said it's not a competition, we complement. And as much as yes, there are gender biases, there are inequalities. I know, women get paid less, but yes, we're still not at a place where everything is equal. As much as we bring them to notice, we don't keep fighting for them, because our work should speak more than our words. Many women right now are speaking more than showing their works. And that, I think, is something that we as women need to learn, that we deliver our products. And yes, we have family commitments, we have other commitments, but even as a woman, if I'm calling for a team meeting, if my team is not there, and if they have excuses, be it a man, be it a woman, if they have excuses always, it's just difficult to run a team. So as women, we just need to take that extra effort to make sure that we make a difference when we are part of the team and we don't bring our baggage from home to work.
It's an interesting thing that you mentioned. So you would like to say that, it's really important to find the balance between advocating for yourself and for gender equality, but at the same time do your homework when you actually have to do something and show, your skills more than just speaking up. That's an interesting point. And how do you think, what is the first step, to find this balance? What should you remind yourself of when you try to find this balance?
I
Not
think
just speaking up,
what we
but
need,
also working to prove it. Hmm.
yeah, so I think it is about, as a woman, we need to realize what we like. I took the intentional choice of taking a break when I had my kids, because I love kids and I want to enjoy them. I have friends who decided to, give their career a focus. Now they have gone way ahead in the career. Now I can't compare myself with them and expect to be like them. So everybody has a cost to pay. So you need to find out what you want and go and find that space and excel in that space. Don't compare with everybody and say, oh, they are like that. They are, that company is like that. They pay that way. That's not it. You decide what you want. You seek what you want. Look for companies which will, satisfy what your passion is, and follow them. And then create your mark there. Because I think today most women are so caught up with, oh, everybody, this is what is the, needs to become better. But in the process, nobody's working, and we're losing out on what the previous women have actually got for us.
I absolutely agree. It all starts with why you want to do something, and then, it will help you guide your way through. Shaima, what do you have to add to the question of, of important skills that you need to showcase effective leadership in STEM?
I think Sherene said it really well, and I'm just going to maybe elaborate more from my own experience, right? I just sometimes in my also in my experience I have seen women because they need to fit in this very male dominant industry, let's say, they become, you know, like my male colleagues, like they act like they don't have empathy, or we fit in, we are, I don't want to say this, but it sounds like we are part of the club. And sometimes it's, I would like to say, as women we do have these qualities, these good qualities that we can bring on board as leaders, and it's not everyone has that, right? um I mean, not the other gender would not have that. So if we are women in leadership, let's be the women in leadership with our good qualities and bring them on board, right? So that me as a woman, I could get inspired and I could have a place there. So this is something that I have also experienced. The other thing I would say that has helped me in my work is that with I have noticed actually that with clear communication, with long term clear communication comes trust, right? And if my male colleague can trust me to be to do the job, and for me to show up on time, as Shireen mentioned, for me to show up on time, to come on board with no drama, I think this is one of the strategies that we could use as women to grow in our roles. So yeah, these are the points I have. I
Sorry,
think you're
perfect.
unmuted.
Yes,
Yeah.
these are really, really nice points. Thank you so much. And I like the idea that, you shouldn't just fit in, you should still stay true to yourself. So, you have to find balance, you have to stay true to yourself. It's really hard. And in my experience, you can elaborate on that, but in my experience, I found that, having a supportive community of women who also been there and done that is super important because, sometimes when you wake up and you feel completely discouraged, to just, it feels like, everything is falling out of your hands and you're not able to do something. Having, this such a community to just, go and read that, somebody did that and they were successful, it really helps you, it really motivates you, to go on with your day and be the best version of yourself. Do you agree with me? Is that a good advice?
Definitely, I
I
think
yeah.
definitely there are these friends of mine, as I had from my master's degree and over working at Siemens. I've just followed them in their career paths. And some of the challenges they go to, actually, what they have shared with me has helped me in my journey, though I've started late. So I would say I had the advantage where, that the problems were already solved and what not to do, and what got them into issues. So definitely having this community definitely helps. But I would also say, like, when I mentioned no drama and things like that, it is that we really work towards what we want and make
Yeah.
people take notice of us. because I think not many women today want to, be that unique person that they are crafted to be. And to be able to bring that to the workplace is what we women should be working towards.
Thank you. Shaima, you wanted to say something also?
I totally agree to what you have mentioned, and I think throughout my journey so far, it was the stories of the women who have gone exactly through what I have gone through, right? And sharing these strategies together, whatever the industry they came from, was and I remember I would have coffee or ice cream with my friends in after work to just talk about the struggles and leave that coffee shop and say, I'm going to go back and I'll be stronger. And I will update you after a week on how I implemented this strategy and see where are we today. Like we will have this pinky promise, and I'm grateful for that, because I think if I didn't have this, community, or even my friends who I could speak to, my mentors, I'm super grateful, who are also women, who I'm super grateful for. If they didn't knew my struggle and they were not authentic themselves, I think this would have been super difficult, if for example, if I had someone who only wanted to fit to the club, right? And you talk to and they cannot relate to you as women, that would have been really difficult. So I'm grateful for that.
Thank you so much. That's, this point is a great wrap up for our session. And I should say, I really enjoyed it. We mentioned some of the really interesting points that I personally did not expect in the beginning. So I really appreciate it that you dialed in today. And when it comes to our audience, I hope you also enjoyed our conversation. And if you feel like you connected with the journey of our ladies, feel free to connect with them, and maybe they will also help inspire you on your journey and your career in STEM. Again, thank you so much, ladies, and hope you're going to have a great rest of the day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.